line, the border fires and the humming wires. Yeah, man, you know you're never coming back. Past the square, past the bridge, past the mills, past the stack. On a gathering storm comes a tall, handsome man in a dusty black coat with a red right hand.
Yes, lads, it's me, the chosen one. I am Neo. If you didn't guess from the posters already, things are a bit different this week. I'll go and get in position and let you guys know what's what. Sorry, 2 seconds. So, this week, guys, I'm sorry to say, no guest. We got to the weekend and things weren't great this weekend. Spoke to Sam. My cousin's in hospital, in a London hospital, and Matt's back in hospital. He's been in hospital since Friday. And then I spoke to Sam, and then funny enough, Sam said he ain't been feeling great. He had some problems, and to be honest, I just think it's a sign of the times, really. I think me and Sam put our efforts into cheering up and uplifting other people, and maybe forgot about ourselves a little bit, or maybe not that, but you know, things ain't great, are they? So he was feeling a bit down, I was feeling a bit down, so we spoke to the guest. We've already rearranged for Sunday, but with the feedback we've got, and when I'm hearing people like Shan and Matt, obviously himself, and it's, you know, it's uplifted them and that, watching this, I didn't want to let no one down. So I'm going to do my best, and I'm going it alone, and try and get something out where I can still put smiles on your lot's faces. So bear with me, guys, and we'll take it as it comes. So this week, a lot has happened this week. Seems to be the case now every week, doesn't it? So much happening, especially with the sports coming back into the TVs. So I wanted to start with, I didn't want to talk about this too much, but I've got to say, I'm going to start with the WWE. They've just done their second behind doors pay-per-view on Sunday, just gone, and I've got to say, the stuff they've done, they've been doing weekly shows behind closed doors, 3 of them on the weekly, and as I say, the second pay-per-view now, obviously the first was WrestleMania, which obviously, if you're a fan in the past, or you know, you in general vaguely watch it, most people watch WrestleMania yearly at least. But yeah, it was solid again. Solid pay-per-view, decent watch. And even like, I've got to say, even my brother, he don't watch it. Like, my boy will come round, if he puts it on here, then Matt will watch it, then sort of thing. Matt don't watch it at all no more. But even he said what they've done and what they've put out, it's been really good, and they've done it very well. So I wanted to mention that because I wanted to mention it really because good for them, because they've managed to be able to have a setup where it's safe, and they reach out to everyone across the globe. You know, it's obviously a global brand, and they've reached out to everyone by putting this on, and not just the one-off event like obviously UFC and the boxing will be pay-per-view based. They've gone every week. One would assume there was the pre-recording now, because obviously no one's in the crowd, so I would assume safety measures would be they're obviously recording a few weeks at a time, and then putting it out like that, and then bringing the guys back to do the next batch of weeks. I would assume. I'm not 100% on that, but I think that's the case. So yeah, fair play to them. That was a good watch. That was on. Again, don't want to really make this the WWE thing, but just out. If anybody's an old fan from before, new fan, this will really appeal to you. The Undertaker, for the first time in 30 years, has put a documentary out. You might be able to find it on YouTube, possibly. I'm not too sure, but obviously it's exclusive to the WWE network. 2 parts are already out. It's called The Last Ride, and it's really good, man. So good. So old fan, new fan. Obviously, everybody knows The Undertaker. Go and give that a watch. And he's obviously been doing a lot more interviews recently. I catched a couple on YouTube. So he's about good watches. If anybody's interested in that. We had the UFC again this week. They put on 2 more cards, solid cards. Didn't see loads of the Wednesday card. I saw the main event. That was quite good. And Saturday was pretty good card. Trying to remember the main event now. Was it Walt Harris and Overeem? That was decent. Worth a watch if anybody's not seen that. But yeah, more good live action. Good stuff coming from the UFC. So long may that continue. And then the main thing this week is, yes, the Bundesliga was back. Football was back. Where to start with this? I've heard a lot of comments about it. Obviously, I think the initial was, yes, it was back. Everybody was happy. A lot of the games were scattered about. So it was a lot of live content. I won't lie. Did start with the Dortmund game. And the first 10-20 was... it was much like a training ground game. Or friendly. I'd say bad training ground session, to be honest. At first, and it was kind of like waiting for them to get into their rhythm. But you know what? In the end, it was really good. And then the next few games I watched 3 over the weekend, and I thought they got better. And I think maybe from the previous days, these teams knew what they were going in for, and obviously watched it. And I think in the end, the players were just playing the game. And for me, listen, we all want the fans there. We all love the atmosphere. It's all part and parcel, ain't it? But to be honest, you watch football for football. I miss football. I want to watch football. I'm not interested in what Joe Bloggs is chanting, to be honest. And yeah, it was a different feel, but I enjoyed it. And some of the games were good. Some of the games were really good. Run through some of these results. Hoffenheim lost 3-0 to Hertha. By the way, anyone that's not seen the third goal in that, the Kuna goal, unbelievable goal, very good goal. Dusseldorf and Paradong 0-0. Gladbach and Frankfurt 3-1. That was quite a good game. Watched a bit of that. They got some interesting players, Gladbach actually. For anybody that didn't know, Lilian Thuram's son plays for Gladbach. He looks a good player. Mbolo, big strong player. So yeah, that was a good watch. Augsburg 1, Wolfsburg 2. That was decent as well, actually. Augsburg had a goal disallowed to go 2-1 up. And then Wolfsburg scored the winner near the end. Dortmund Schalke, like I said, I watched. I'll tell you what, guys, that Haaland, he's something else, ain't he? What a finish by that guy. And the Guerrero goal was very classy finish. I've got to say, though, Schalke keeper, suspect. He looked like a Sunday League keeper. The third goal goes straight through him. Anyway, Leipzig slipped up the weekend. Done my hacker in. I ain't done an hacker in 3 months. First one down the pan with a big team like that. 1-1 with Freiburg. Bayern beat Union Berlin 2-0. Got Mainz and Cologne 2-2. And we had Bremer and Leverkusen. I think that was the Monday night. Again, that was a good game. I actually enjoyed that one probably the most. Leverkusen played some good football, some very good football. I enjoyed that one. So yeah, Bundesliga's back with a bang. Yes, it's a little bit different, but nonetheless, it was very enjoyable to watch. And I got my football fix, man. I was just glad to get some football fix, to be honest. That was the main thing for me. So, set of fixtures out again Saturday. Both the big boys are on action Saturday. Dortmund are in action on TV, and Bayern will also be on TV that day. And then this week they got the Friday game, they got Saturday, got Sunday, and then straight away they got half the leagues playing Tuesday, half the leagues Wednesday, and Tuesday 5:30 BT Sports. It's Dortmund versus Bayern, which is top of the table clash now. So yeah, full week of fixtures there before we're back on the pod. So before we are released anyway, we will probably review the midweek games and tell you what's happened action-wise Saturday and Sunday, because we'll be recording Sunday. So Premier League, we're back in training, I believe, or we've been ordered to go back to train the Premier League. But there's a lot of players ain't happy about it. Danny Rose straight up said he's not happy. He feels like lab rat. I think from what I can gather, I was listening to an interview with Jamie Carragher the other day. It's been set up for him, but it seems like the players have been last to know about everything, which is a major problem. You want them to go and play, and they don't feel like they got a significant amount of information before they go back playing and mixing with people. And actually, to that point, going back to the Dortmund game, obviously he had the subs. Like 2-3 meter, like chairs apart on the subs bench, and then you got like corners in the game. You got an eye on every player in the box, all back to backs and shoulder to shoulders with each other. So yeah, there's certain things that don't really look good, to be honest, and you wonder what this, where they're coming from. You may as well just let the guys sit together on the bench, I don't know. But so yeah, it just seems like the words coming out of certain people is, in the majority of the guys are happy to go back and want to play, but there's a few that have got concerns, and the players have just not been given the right information or all the information, and they're certainly not being told first. So it's a problem. And then the other one was Deeney. Fair play to Deeney. I like Deeney. He comes out and says it how he sees it, and he was pretty frank. He ain't going back. He don't care about the money. He don't care. I don't even think he cares if he gets fined. I'm not sure if that was quoted, but he ain't bothered about earning a few dollars, because it's risking his life and the safety of his family. And then he was on a podcast with Eddie Hearn and Tony Bellew, and he's kind of come out and said, look, his reasons are he's got a 5-year-old son and he's got breathing problems, and he's not willing to risk catching the virus and then bringing it back home to his family. So, to be honest, I can see a few more in the same sort of boat, and you ain't going to be able to force them to play. So yeah, fair playing for Deeney, to be honest. And by the sounds of it, he was in I think the managers and the captains sort of went in, and it sounds like he hit them with a few questions, and no one can really answer him with all information. So it just goes to show, I don't think we're really ready, and I think the general gist of it is we're probably going back for money reasons in terms of the league, and it seems rushed when we're just not at that stage, and we are behind the likes of Germany. So yeah. Other news in our country, League 2 voted to complete the season, and I think that's going to be under review with the FA. not much more was being said about that. So we'll have to see what happens with that one. So yeah, that's pretty much the review for the week, guys. So obviously, I'm hoping to get out similar sort of time show, guys, but it's a bit difficult by myself. Obviously, I've got no one to bounce off. So what I've done was I took it upon myself to ask a few of you to send me questions. Unknown to you guys, I just said, send me and Sam questions. Me and Sam are going to answer some questions this week, and you guys obviously didn't know that there weren't going to be no guest. So yeah, knowing I was going to be alone, basically, I'm hosting myself with your questions. So right, hopefully we'll get a bit more entertainment from here, and there's a few more things we can get you laughing at, or at least be interested in. So right, here's the questions. So the first question was from Hardick. Here's the question: If I had to FIFA rate the midweek guys, pick their positions and rate their different abilities. I really liked that question when I got it, and I thought that's a bit of a tough one to do by myself, for one. And two, I think actually if we'd done this well on a proper show, we probably have some good visuals for one, and we can do it properly with Sam's editing and whatnot. We've got some good pictures, get some good pictures up and that, and a few edits. So I'm not going to go full in on this, but for the purpose of for the fact we've got it here, I'm going to try my best to maybe run through a few different bits. So I don't know what we got. Pace. So pace, Connor would be like a 99 all day long, wouldn't he? And I think for a good one, hey Shanu, what do you reckon you'd be, mate? I reckon you'd probably be what, a 35 on FIFA pace. But you probably wouldn't be here alone. You know what? Shanu's got pulled on this quite a few times since. Ryan, you run like you're stuck in the mud backwards, son. So you'll probably only be a 40 yourself. So, yeah. Who else? Finishing. I think finishing. People get confused with the finishing. Like, don't get me wrong. We got some good goal scorers that played down on Wednesday. But I would say, like, here's the difference for me. Hardick, for instance, his shot power would probably be what? I don't even know the ratings on the FIFA. What do you reckon? Pushing 70, 75 shot power. 75 shot power. His long shots would probably be 75, 80, right? But it would be lower than Rish on the finishing. Rish finishing would be 80, 85. 80, 85, pushing the 90s. He's clinical. There's a difference. On a good day, Hardick will probably hit 5 and score 4. Other days, he can hit 5 and maybe score 1 or 2, but it'd be a cracker. I would bet my house on Rishi. He can, and he don't even have to do nothing all game. You give him half a chance, I'd put my house on him scoring 1-1. If it was that crucial run chance he had, he'd finish. But in general, he'd take at least 1 and 2 chances. He's clinical. Even people like Z, he scores goals. Obviously, he's a front man. We're playing Power League, but I think even C himself would say he could be a lot more clinical. So in terms of finishing, you ain't getting better than Rish. The other scale of that, since we've done the other scale of pace, I mean, fuck me, Jake couldn't hit a barn door. I mean, half the time, if you asked him to hit the building, I mean, he'd get it over the fence, but I don't even think he'd hit the building. Like, the amount of balls he sends over the pitch is unreal. So, Jake's the lower scale on that one. What else we got? Engine? Work rate? Is that on there? Work rate, isn't it? Or stamina. So, stamina's easy. So, Rossi would be your 95 straight off the bat. Who's got bad stamina? Well, I don't think no one really blows badly. If Bran has a few weeks off, he'll dart in goal 2 or 3 times. So the other scaler of Rossi would be Bran. But when Bran's had a few weeks under his belt, Bran is the same sort of category as Ross for sure. But I can't think of anybody else. So sorry, Bran, you've took the brunt of that one. What else we got? Passing. Oh, the worst passer. The worst passer. Imsy, mate, you're probably a 50 or a 60 on the passing spectrum, and the other end of it, mate, is probably me. I'm the king of the passers. I'm the king of the passers, baby. Now, my short passing probably like 95. I don't like to think I misuse the ball too often, and my long passes probably wouldn't be too far off. Addy would be up there. Jakey, but there's a few that do like to lose the ball a bit too often for my liking down there. Some of you need to fix up. What else we got? Heading. After bigging myself up, heading I'd be a 0, and then Waldy would probably be 100. Sam's keeper stats would be good, wouldn't it? But we ain't got no one to pair him off against. Callie would probably be like the legendary card in FIFA, the old timer, the midweek ballers, world greats or whatever we'd call it, all time greats. What else can we pick on? Done passing, done pace, done finishing. It's tactically aware one ain't on there. I want to talk about that a bit more from last week. Like, there's a lot. Like, I don't want to upset people, but you got to understand. When we was talking about football intelligence last week, for me, you can play the game. You can play the game. You know how to play the game. You know what you're doing. You know your role. But I think, for me, when you talk about football intelligence, it's like you got to read the game. It's just another level. For me, there's another level. Like, Harvey's a good player, knows football. Ab's a good player, knows football. There's loads of us. There's 20 plus we got playing in this, and we've probably let 10, 15 go over the years. We've had loads of players, but for me, football intelligence is another level again. And whether people want to agree or not, I think there's a handful, honestly. Rossi, and I don't want people going, "Oh, bias." You just got to be honest. I do think Addy is one of them. I think I was right in saying that, but it's not always got to do with it is on the pitch, but it's hard to explain. Just think it's just another level of football intelligence, reading the game and stuff. Like Addy, Rishi, Rossi, Jake, myself. I don't think there's too many more, if I'm brutally honest. There's a lot of people down there that need coaching through games. And it's not a bad thing, they're all good players. But having to know what to do yourself and reading the game, I think it's completely different. But anyway, yeah, that's a good question, Ardy. I really like it, and I think we will jazz that up a bit and maybe have a few have someone on with us, and when Sam's back, and we'll do that properly and maybe even do some visuals for that, because that'd be good, to be fair. Right, next question. Shafi, who's my least favourite person in the group? Also, what was my favourite season for my club and the favourite player from that season? Right, my least favourite person in the group. I've got to be honest. Well, most of you know you're all in the group. I've probably clashed with almost everyone in that group. Sometimes on purpose, sometimes just for a wind-up. And I've got to say before I continue, there's a few I know have had a bit of a bite and probably not realised what I'm like. I am the biggest fucking wind-up in there, and I'll say some outlandish stuff sometimes. And I probably don't really mean nothing by it. But I've had people probably bite back sometimes or got upset about it because they've not realised I'm just having a bit of banter or you know what I mean. So I'll say that before I carry on. I've got to be honest, I've probably had a least favourite and he's probably left the group because we probably got too much and I weren't going to get kicked out, so someone else got the boot instead and they probably stopped playing. But for this purposes, and I've not thought about any of these questions before I've come on here, which probably ain't helped me, but the only person I can think of at the moment, and it's more banter than anything else, but Turkish. Turkish is the least favourite person for me in that group. He's such a fucking div, honestly, biggest div ever. Comes out with so much shit, and that week the game, oh mate, people thought we were biting about it and getting a bit funny, but that week he was going on about Flapiansky and all this fucking bollocks, mate. Like, it was completely the flip side. That they were full on cheering, winning the game. They were losing comfortably, and then cheering the game they started winning when we had two of our men were limping around the pitch, and then one had to go in a goal in the end. Oh yeah, but yeah, that wasn't a thing. It just made me laugh, and then it just become a big thing. And I think people that weren't there or people on the opposite side didn't really get where we was coming from. We were more taking the piss about it, and I think people thought we were getting a bit funny about it, but it weren't like that. But no, in the group, just like he comes out with some stupid things sometimes. I don't even think he gets the Turkish thing, to be honest. He's still not cottoned onto that at all, but that's kind of stuck, which is quite funny. But yeah, and he's kind of sided himself with Shafi and Harvey, and you know, aligning yourself with the likes of Shafi in that group will not help your reputation, mate. So you've done yourself no favours. Right, next one. Favourite season. So, favourite season. This is hard because obviously for Chelsea, a lot of our success is more recent, and I'd love to have given a different answer and not being so like bogged down on recent stuff. But so yeah, it's probably between. Again, I ain't thought about none of these before I've come on here, which probably ain't helped. I would probably say it was between two, because I think the first season Jose come in, obviously that's when we won the Premier League. So for me, Joe's come in, no fucks given. He was smart, funny, witty, borderline arrogant, antagonising, and he set this culture up where it was like us against the world. Which if you're a fan of that club, I fucking loved it, mate. I fucking loved it. It was like no one else matters. Fuck the FA, fuck UEFA, fuck all the other teams. It was just us. It was our camp, and we was all in it together, like a band of brothers, and we will take everybody on sort of feeling. And you got that vibe from him as a fan, and it was brilliant, to be honest. I took a lot from him myself, actually. The way he set up the teams, the way he got us to play. It was really interesting. And he just come in, he was fresh, he was new, young guy, just done back-to-back trophies in Europe just with a Porto side. He come in, spent a bit of money. It was just really interesting, and he just seemed to get this winning mentality installed into us really quickly. And if the players' interviews, they seemed a lot happier and that. or not happier. They just seemed more engaged and vibrant, and everything just seemed a different feel when he come in. And from that season as well, I'll give you a quick. My favourite memory from that season would be the Frank Lampard Bolton goals, both of them. But I remember the one where he rounds. Who was in goal? Is it Yaski Iron? Someone have to confirm that for me. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, when he rounds the keeper and slots it in, and the celebrations and that. Yeah, that's probably my favourite moment from that season. But again, the other one I would say would probably be 09-10 season, where Ancelotti come in. We really wanted to chase the Champions League. Obviously, Jose left and whatnot, and we got Ancelotti in, and I think everybody was excited. He obviously, won the Champions League with AC Milan and that, top manager. And what I would say about Ancelotti and why this was a good season is he was probably the only one that come in and actually changed the system. Yeah, he was brave enough to change the system, and he changed the style of play quite a bit. And I remember that season. We were hitting teams for 5, 6, 7s, and even 8s. I think it was an 8-1 last game of the season. I think we had like a couple of weeks before that. We had like 2 or 3 7-1s and 7-0s the week before that. So yeah, it was really good. He come in, and so Ancelotti come in. We won the double that year. First time we ever done the double. We were playing a really good, attractive brand of football, scoring a lot of goals. We had a lot of good players. We had Ballack at the time. Ballack, Deco, Anelka. Joe Cole was obviously still there. Yeah, we had a really good team. Really good team. And Frank was at the peak of his powers. He scored 22 goals in 36 apps that year and 14 assists. And he gave his penalty up away to Didier Drogba on the last day of the season. So that should have been 23. But he let Didier take that because he was on for winning the Golden Boot, which he did do. So yeah, that season, with the brand of football we were playing, and to win the FA Cup and the league, and to have our striker win the Golden Boot, and obviously our main man Frank to hit the numbers he did as well was phenomenal. So I think for the season and the way we played, I'd probably go with the Ancelotti League as my favourite season. And obviously Frank, both seasons, he would have been my player. He quickly become my hero when he come to Chelsea, and he's a living legend now, and went on to break all-time record goal scoring. The all-time record goal scoring for the club. His apps for the Premier League and the goals, they all speak for itself. So yeah, Frank Lampard, and I'd probably go with the 09-10 season for my favourite season. Thank you, Shafi. Right, next question. Jake. All-time Chelsea 11 and my top 5 midweek ballers memories. Right, obviously this one I have had a little jot down because I knew what the question was. So I thought about this. It was fucking hard, man. I ain't gonna lie. I almost want a subs bench, but I didn't. I wanted to think about it before I come on here just for this specific question, but I didn't really go and I didn't spend 10, 15, 20 minutes on it. I kind of went with what first went into my head. So if anybody knows me well, I was a Carlo Cudicini fan, massive Carlo Cudicini fan. And as much as Czech should probably be in this, I have jotted down and did not change it. I put Carlo Cudicini for my keeper, and he was class. He was very, very good. And when Czech come in, I was like, wow, they're playing Czech like straight away. No thoughts about it. And obviously Czech obviously proved himself, and he was probably a better keeper. But I love Carlo, so we're going for Cudicini. Right back, Aspie, or Dave, we call him. He's been class for us, and I'll say it time and time again. For me, I'm not, I think he's the best defender in the league. He's so consistent. He's so good. Since he's come through our doors, he's been right back, left back, right-sided centre back in a free. I think he's brilliant. He's such a good defender. Like, honestly, right back, left backs, and centre backs, put them all in together. He's right up there. Very, very good. Next one. I wanted to mix this a bit, but it was hard because there's a few I just couldn't leave out. But this guy, from when I was a kid, I remember. I kind of wanted LaBouffe in as well, by the way. But anyway, I've gone for Marcel Desailly. Solid, mate. Just solid. The Rock. Solid, mate. Just remember, when I used to watch, he just used to be like a brick wall. Honestly, he was so good. And then proper leader as well, good captain for us. So yeah, Desailly. And then obviously JT, a young JT played next to Desailly, to be fair. But obviously captain, leader, legend, John Terry. Say what you like about him, but he's probably one of the best defenders the league's ever seen. Left back's easy. If he's ever played for your team, you have him in there. He's just Ashley Cole all day long. So easy. Right, this is where it gets interesting. I've gone for a diamond midfield, guys. So my holding player, the Makelele role, he's just a man. And you know what? When he come in, I don't think many people realised. I can't remember, but you got that feeling when he come in. You thought he's coming from where we've got a good player here. We've got a big player. And I don't think it was until he was here with us where people realised he was starting to get tout. It was brought to light more here what he was doing or what he can do for your team. He kind of just, what's the word? He kind of like give himself away, like he give him services to the team. Like we didn't want to bump forward and nothing. He'd sit there and just protect the back four, and it was for the benefit of the team, sort of thing. And another reason why I love Maka so much is obviously in my time in playing Sunday League. This is before I was a manager. I was more of a get forward sort of player, and then we come to a time where we were losing most weeks, and I kind of said, listen, I think I can do this job. I can sit here. Let the others go and play it. I'll sit here. And I've become, from that point, more of a Makelele role type player. I was sitting deep and just trying to cut things out and read the game, really. So, Maka was important for Chelsea, and he was important for me, personally, watching him on the weekly, because I kind of give up the fact of getting forward and thought I can benefit the team here more and even play more if I be the deep line player and break things up. So Maka's in. Next obvious one, my hero, Lampard. He's straight in, will get us goals. And then my other one, for people may not know, one of my personal favourites is Ida Good-Johnson. Such a good player. Really, really good player. Technically good player. Again, one of them ones. Football intelligence. Such an intelligent player. Probably more known as playing in the two with Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. I think they had good numbers. They had something like 46 goals between them one season as a pair, which was obviously really good. But Jose did use him at times in a diamond where he was more of a deeper midfielder with Frank, so I've kind of put him there. To the tip of my diamonds, Eden Hazard. I don't think you could have left him out. Another one of our top players. And then I've gone two up top. We got Gianfranco Zola and Didier Drogba. Zola's an absolute legend of the club, probably one of the best foreign players to come into the Premier League. And Drogba's just a Chelsea legend, man. He scored I think he scored in every cup final we've ever been in, bar one, which he hit the post in against Man United in the Champions League. Yeah, just a hero, man. And funny enough, it was yesterday, was it? Chelsea, 8th anniversary of Chelsea winning the Champions League, and obviously it was his header that got us into extra time, and then he scored the final penalty to win the thing. So yeah, Drogba's in. So that's my all-time 11. Cudicini, Aspie, Desai, John Terry, Ashley Cole, Makelele, Lampard, Ida Johnson, Eden Hazard, Zola and Drogba. Right. Midweek Ballers memories. Right. Run through these quick. My first memory, I obviously touched on it probably a couple of weeks ago. It was my first game, and it was the Abbas B memory when Abbas sort of shouted at me. He said, "Azza, I really like you, man. I like the way you play." So that's right up there in my top 5 memories. A few of my goals. I always remember a few of my goals. I remember a lot of my goals, but I remember hitting one from the halfway line. I remember saying to Sam one week, I'm just going to hit one, Sam. I'm just going to hit one halfway. I'm going to test it. And I remember one flew in from the halfway. I remember one, most people might remember, it kind of bounced and I hit it on the side volley, on the slice. And that went gliding into the corner. My one against Kay, when I was winding him up all week saying I was going to score one like Lampard against him, I hit a beauty against him. So yeah, a lot of my goals I like to remember. I don't know if it'd be down as a memory, but just bringing players down. And it's nice, isn't it? They come down and they've contributed to the game. Connor, Rossi, more recently Alex, good player and a good lad. I think we should hashtag to get Alex in on a permanent basis, to be honest. We've had far worse players come in and ones that ain't even that committed as well. So, yeah, but yeah, more of that. Jake, got mentioned Jake, I brought him down. So people who come in and added to the game and then even helped getting in more players when we need it. So, yeah, it's nice. Ryan, all these players all added to it and added to the group as well, to be honest. Trying to think of another memory. I don't know why, but this popped into my head. It's probably the only real crazy slide tackle I've ever made. It's probably because I'm never out of position. I remember Brown had the ball and he was just about to pull the trigger. He was just about to pull the trigger right on the edge of the box. And I've come across out of nowhere. And I've honestly gone for the ball and I got the ball. But it was heavy, man. It was so heavy and I've gone in so hard and he's kind of at the same time when he's going to take the shot and he kind of went over me. I don't know if you'll remember that or if anybody else will, but yeah, I remember that tackle because probably the only real time I've had a hefty tackle in, to be honest. Again, tackling. The whole slide thing was a bit crazy. I'm sure we'll talk about that in upcoming weeks. There'll definitely be chat about slide cake, guys. But for me, again, if you constantly having to make slide tackles or blocks like that, there's something wrong. Again, if you know how to read the game, you'll be where you need to be without having to make last-ditch tackle. So, again, intelligence. Right, maybe my all-time favourite memory, guys. This was around the period, right? Things were really hot in the group. And I reckon me and Shafi went at it for like 2 weeks straight. And I think we probably had there was probably a run of games before it, but I remember we were going at it, hammer and tong in the group, mate. This game was built up so big, and I think it fired everybody up massively. And we got there, and to be fair, it was a good game, even game. I think it was like 7-7, and the best thing happened. I remember Shan crossed in the ball, and then Shafi went to clear it. It kind of come off his back and went in the net, and he scored an own goal. And I swear to you, the second we started cheering, the lights just went black. We were blackout straight away. And we won 8-7, and Shafi scored an own goal for us to win the game. It's the best thing that's ever happened. Actually, I got to add in another memory. Shafi's penalty miss in the tournament was the second best thing to ever happen in midweek ballers. But the first one is his own goal when he was piping off all fucking week, and he got given it to him, and he scored the winning goal. Perfect. It couldn't have gone any better. Just a quick one. I've chucked in another extra one. My few stints in goal. I had a little moment where I was doing a few, 10, 15 minute spelling in goal each week, and I was just saving some crazy shots, mate. I had a good little spell in goal. Anyway, moving on. Right, so I got a message from my mate Joe, who is outside the group, and he said, have we ever thought of how long we're going to play for and what is the future for us? Are we going to end up playing walking football, and are we going to play till we're 65? My answer to that is I will play as long as I can possibly play. And in fairness, I think this will probably run on forever and ever now. We probably will get to 60, 65 to be fair. And if it ends up walking football even more so than what it is now, then we will probably carry on. Future, even for a personal sort of thing, I may well look at playing vets football on Sundays at some point. So yeah, I want to play as long as you possibly can. It's something to enjoy. And you don't want to never stop playing, do you? So yeah, I think that would be the answer across the board for everybody. My mate Jack Gilbert, we call him Flying. For anybody that don't know why we call him Flying, anybody seen the movie Chopper? I'm Neville fucking Bartos, mate. Look at me, have a fucking geese. I'm fucking flying. Check that scene out. I'll send it out later. So Flying. Would the coronavirus still be a thing if Boris and Theresa May got together? My answer to that, my old chum, is yes, it probably still would have been a thing, but the likes of you and probably someone like Shafi would have a lot more video content to watch. So I hope that helps. Ryan, what would your signings be for the typical top 6 in the league? Right. Again, another one I've not really looked into. But, so who's top? So Liverpool. Obviously got a good squad. Couple, the likes of Milner and that might not last too much longer, even though he's super fit. Got 2 good fullbacks. Maybe just add to the depth. But then sometimes you want a bit of competition there. I would say you probably can't always going to be able to rely on the likes of Salah and Mane forever. So you could get a striker in and drop Bobby, and people were saying about maybe an attacking midfielder. I would probably maybe go down that route. Like Fekir was well talked about before, weren't he? And that would have been interesting. But I would say for me, because I like Joe Gomez, because I could have maybe gone down the route of maybe putting someone in next to Van Dijk. But I like Gomez. So I'm going to say, to add to the dynamics of the team, is Ousa Dembele. I'm going to go for Dembele for Liverpool. Add a winger in, bit of competition. He's a good player. Yeah, I think that's a good one. City. First thing that comes to my head would be, do they have to replace Sané? Another top centre back. I don't think Kompany's really been replaced. He's not played Otamendi or Stones really this year, has he? Stones really needs to sort himself out, by the way. We need that boy up and running for England. But I think the big one was when Laporte got injured. So maybe a centre back for them. But what I would say is Aguero's not going to last forever. I think Kane will probably end up there, or something needs to be looked at there for them. Leicester's third. I know they're not the normal top six, but I'll do Leicester anyway. Anybody, they'll have to bring in anybody like replacement wise, depending who goes. So off the top of my head, so say if Chilwell goes, who could you get in? Depends who goes down as well. All this sort of stuff comes into play, doesn't it? A Bertrand. I had a really good left back in my mind, but I can't remember now. Maybe a Danny Rose. Anyway, so replacements for them. Maybe if a Maddison goes, go and get Grealish. I don't know, but I would say for them, I'd go with Aki. Sancho's come in and he's been fantastic, but they got a Johnny Evans next to him. So I think if you can add maybe Nafi Aki with them, because they've got a good team. Say they kept everybody. At the moment, that's the only weak spot in it, you'd say. Because I like Iheanacho and he is playing backup anyway, so I don't think you're going to get another striker. Maybe another winger. Talks were they were going to get that the lad we got from Ajax. I can't remember his name now. Ziyech, is it? Talks were they were linked with him at first. So maybe another winger for them. Saw a few good wingers on the weekend from Gladbach and Leverkusen. Maybe lads from those sort of sides. Or how about maybe a Ryan Fraser? Maybe go and get him. Be good for Leicester. Anyway, Chelsea. For this one's easy for me because I already know what we need. We need more goals. We need more, someone who's going to be clinical. So for Chelsea, I want to see Timo Werner in. He can play up front, he can play from wide, and he can play on two of Tammy if need be, and we just need more goals. So he'd be one for me. United's hard. What do United need? They've got like 50 fucking centre-backs on the book. I don't even know who's playing properly centre-back wise. I suppose Maguire's the main man. I like Bailey, but he's always injured. So I wouldn't say centre-back. I think if you got Fernandes in now, Fred's playing well. You got the likes of Matic and McTominay, and if Pogba's staying, I think you'd probably be able to sort that out. So for me, for United, is get a striker. I think you need a front man. And I'm not saying that because you've got Rashford, you've got Martial, but one of them or both of them normally play wide. So I think a front man would be good, an out front man. You could get a winger in if you're going to put your hat on Martial, but I think the general consensus is United need a striker. So I'm going to go with striker. Arsenal. See, I spoke to two Arsenal fans. They both said centre backs. Obviously, when I said to Addy, I spoke to someone before him. It was Matt, and Matt said Van Dijk, and Addy said Van Dijk, and obviously Addy chucked in a quick secondary choice in terms of a centre back, which I like. Totally get it. But for me, if I was Arsenal manager, the first guy I'd go and get is in Idrissa Gana Gueye. I think they need energy in the midfield and someone who's going to break down the opposition in front of that back four. So for me, you need more cover in front of the back four. He'd be my first choice all day long. Spurs is hard, man. I always thought there was like one or two players away from really doing something, And the trouble is now, it's come to that circle where they're now losing a few. I really like Winks. They've got a couple of other good centre midfielders in there. I think Ali will play as the 10 and he gets you goals from there. Kane's still there as it stands, so you don't need a striker. You got Sonny, you got Mora. You could say the fullbacks, but for me, I just think there needs to be... I'd like to see someone a bit more direct and a bit more... Just something a bit more in the wide area for Spurs, I think. Just to give them different options. Because you could play two up and play Son up with Harry. I mean, I suppose if you do that in the back three, you probably play a fullback as a wing back, but I still think they need another winger. I'd go for Spurs. I couldn't give you a name right now off the top of my head, but I think that's what they need to do. Right. The last question is Shafi had another one. I said, your biggest obstacle you've ever had to overcome. Now, I'm not sure I really want to get into all this. I don't think I will. More so because I don't think of nothing. And when you ask someone something like that, I think you think more what's recently happened or what's happening right now sort of thing. And for me, all the recent problems I've got at the moment, I don't think I've got over that hurdle. It's like a daily thing and a daily struggle to try and deal with, and I wouldn't say I'm over it yet, so it's a hard one to answer. And I think there's going to be weeks where me and Sam will have proper podcasts for the both of us where we're going to be answering different things for you lads, because I know a lot of people are interested to hear what we think as well. So maybe that's for that day. But yeah, I think the biggest thing I've had to face, I'm not over yet. That's all I can say. It's a daily thing, and hopefully I can say I've sorted that, but we will see. So I think that's all the questions, boys. I hope it's been somewhat alright to listen to. Just a quick one for Jake. My white caps top, boys. My away white caps top. Got that last year when I was at Canada. I hope that was alright for you lads. What I will say is the plans we had for this week, we'll be going to be doing next week as they were planned this week. And I think moving forward, what I will say as well, I think we're on the right tracks. A lot of names being banded about who tonight was going to be. Names being mentioned. We are going to do all the promo stuff and that we promised to make it a bit more exciting and build it up. And that person that we were meant to be tonight will be on next week. I think moving forward, we've had a couple of suggestions. We do have a list of 13 people, but I think to make it, I'll tell you what's happened. Jake again, fantastic suggestion. I've not spoken to Sam about it, but I think maybe going forward, making it a bit more interactive, we'll put it forward. We'll put a few names forward, and then you guys get the photo and you on, because we do have that gap between Wednesday and record day, and then hopefully we can line that person up, and get the write up of what we want for that particular show. So that'll be coming anyway next week, and moving forward. I just want to say quick thank you for Sam. I do hope he's okay. I think he is now. I have spoken to him today. But thank you for Sam, because this was my idea. Another crazy idea. I'm usually full of them, and then we kind of jumped in 2 feet in the deep end, and he's kind of grabbed the ball by the horns in terms of the editing the show and getting all the bits in there and piecing it all together. Thanks to Ryan and thanks to everybody else that put in feedback and giving us some ideas. Ultimately, this is just for you guys and our group. So, we want to make it as good and as fun as possible for us before we start moving on and moving forward and thinking about doing anything else bigger. So yeah, next week we got so we'll have our guests, we'll have the midweek Banter League back, where I will be taking on our guest. We'll have the final call back. We'll be reviewing the Bundesliga again and previewing all sporting events coming up for the following week. I suppose I'll do a little Netflix thing for you guys. I'm glad for the people that watched Brian Banks, by the way. There was a couple of you. Got good feedback for them as well. So if you've not seen it, go and see that. 13 Hours also got watched by a couple of people. Go and watch that. They all loved that movie as well. I watched Extraction the other day. Really enjoyed that. That was good. But that reminded me of another movie that Chris Hemsworth done. It's called 12 Strong. It's about 12 soldiers. I think it's the first retaliation of the 9/11 attacks. If I'm remembering that right. But basically it's 12 guys that get sent on a mission, and survival rate is very low, basically zero. And the guys who running the team, who is Chris Hemsworth's character, basically said it's 100% survival rate. If he's going out there with 11 men, he's coming back with the 11 men with him, sort of thing. So 12 guys go out on this mission. That's a good one. I've not watched it yet, but I've seen the trailer. I'm going to try it out, guys. Maybe do the same. It's called The Platform, also on Netflix. 12 Strong's on Netflix, by the way. So yeah, there's the two I'll be checking out. Well, the one movie I'll be checking out, and one I've already seen that you can watch. What else is going on, guys? That's about it, I think. So I think we're almost there, aren't we? Sam will be back with me next week. And obviously things are a lot more smoother because he is the main man in terms of hosting, ain't he? The only other idea I'm going to give you guys, which hopefully will cause a bit of excitement to make up for this week, is we've obviously set up Instagram now. So what I'm promising you guys, if everybody gets onto our Instagram and anybody interested, I will do an Instagram live Saturday or Sunday before we record the show. So I'll promise to do that. Instagram live Saturday or Sunday. We'll have people come on. I'm not sure if me and Sam could be on at the same time with someone. We can take calls, but I'm not sure how many people you can take on at the same time. I've never done it. But if not, if Sam's interested, maybe me and him do half each or whatever. Failing that, I will be on and I'll do a bit with Sam, and then I will take random callers for random topics, questions, conversations, and we will do a live this weekend. So hopefully that will be good for you guys and make up for this week's failings. Apologies again, but hopefully you have been able to listen to me for an hour waffle on, because I wanted to have some sort of podcast for you guys to watch today. So I think that's it, lads. I hope you're all well. I hope we all get to play football again very soon. And yeah, just look after yourselves. Like I said, if you're not feeling great, talk to someone. I think me and Sam are both in the same boat, unfortunately, this week, and we can't have a chit-chat to each other. You will enjoy next week's guest. It will be pretty, we had a lot of ideas for that one. So going forward, that will be the plan, to get him on next week. And then after that, we may make it a bit more interactive, and where you can send in, you can vote on who's coming on next, and then you can send in your questions. And then me and Sam will maybe pick, 3 or 4 randomly. So then you're getting a bit more interactive with what's coming up then. And that's it, lads, because otherwise I'm just going to keep repeating myself. So until then, I'm Azza. See you next week.